Welcome to McBirdo's expedition into the unknown and terrible. We have been stuck here in the ice for an eternity. Come into the captain's cabin and warm yourself before you head back out onto the decks. Greetings! You have returned to McBirdo's expedition, and the past said it better. Oh, how long have we been trapped in this infernal ice pack with only drills and hunting seals and provisioning the ship? Today, as a special treat, I shall dig deep into my library of innumerable primary sources and share with you what people actually said about the past, because the past said it better. Writers can embellish on a bad primary source, but hearing the words of someone who actually experienced an event, sometimes shocking, sometimes horrible, always amazing. That said, I've not read these, and so I'm going to be giving you my thoughts as I go along. Chances are, as you are a crew member of the HMS Niblet, you are not easily disturbed by dank, dark, disturbing, or perhaps even sensitive topics. But I'm going to give you a blanket warning now that if you're not wearing your clutchable pearls, maybe you should go get them. I will also warn you that as these came from back in the past, they might not always have the most politically acceptable of language. And if I can put up with the rampant sexism of the past, from a time when they couldn't imagine that a mere female could leave a gang of stalwart adventurers, then so can you. So sit down, make yourself comfy, grab a beverage of your choice, and let's block out this howling wind together. So today we have one that is not going to end well. This one is about adultery in Massachusetts in 1641. And this is from the Diary of John Winthrop, who was the first governor of Massachusetts. And it's just a short one, but it has all the bad feels. I actually know the way this one ends, because I did it originally when this was just going to be a podcast. So, yeah, I sort of know how it goes. But you don't, so let us go together. At this court of assistance, one James Britton, a man ill-affected both to our church discipline and civil government, and one Mary Latham, a proper young woman about 18 years in age, and whose father was a godly man and had brought her up well, were condemned to die for adultery. Some harsh penalty right there. Like, oh, you slept with someone who wasn't your spouse. Let's kill you. Puts the scarlet letter in a whole different perspective. This woman, being rejected by a young man whom she had an affection unto, vowed she would marry the next man that came to her, and accordingly, against her friends' minds, she matched with an ancient man who had neither honesty nor ability, and one whom she had no affection unto. We all know this is not going to end well. Sort of like Hugh Hefner. Oh. Whereupon, soon after she was married, several young men solicited her chastity, and drawing her into a bad company, and giving her wine and other gifts, easily prevailed with her, and among others this Briton. But God, smiting him with a deadly palsy and a fearful horror of conscience, he could not keep secret. Yeah, that's really what happened. He didn't go off to his friends and went, "Guess what? Guess who I slept with? I slept with Mary, and it was great. Have you had Mary yet? Was that bitter? That might have been bitter." The woman dealt now in Plymouth Patent, and one of the magistrates there, hearing she was wanted by us, sent her to us. Upon her examination, she confessed he did attempt the fact, but did not commit it. And witness was produced that testified, which they both confessed, that in the evening of a day of humiliation through the country for England, a company met at Britain's, and there continued drinking till late in the night, and then Britain and the woman were seen upon the ground together a little from the house. Maybe they were sleepy. Maybe that's all they were doing. Maybe they were looking at the stars, and he said, "Look, it's the Big Dipper." I feel like she's getting railroaded. It was reported also that she did frequently abuse her husband, setting a knife to his breast and threatening to kill him, calling him old rogue and cuckold, and said she would make him wear the horns as big as the bull. Why do I just not feel like that's very accurate? Maybe it is, but I don't know. That seems like something that someone said to get her in trouble. And yet some of the magistrates thought the evidence was not sufficient against her because there were not two direct witnesses. But the jury cast her, and then she confessed the fact and accused 12 others, whereof 2 were married men. This is what I don't like about this, is that there were not 2 witnesses, so it's a lot of hearsay. And I sort of get that if they're going to say, yeah, you're an adulteress and you're gonna die, that, she might be angry. She's 18, and say like, yeah, you know what? Not only did I sleep with him, I slept with all of these people, so, if you're gonna kill me, kill them too. 5 of these were apprehended and committed. The rest were gone. But denying it, and there being no other witnesses against them than the testimony of a condemned person, there could be no proceeding against them. So they legged it out of town, and then they were saved. Hooray! The woman proved very penitent, and had deep apprehension of the foulness of her sin, and at length attained to hope of pardon by the blood of Christ, and was willing to die in satisfaction to justice. Just kind of makes me sad. The man also was very much cast down for his sins, but was loath to die, and petitioned the general court for his life, but they would not grant it. They were both executed. They both died very penitently, especially the woman, who had some comfortable hope of pardon for her sin, and gave good exhortation to all young maids to be obedient to their parents, and to take heed of evil company. So, this was in John Winthrop's The History of New England from 1630 to 1649. From 1908. Thank you for joining me for The Past Said It Better. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, subscribe, rate. You know the drill. The more you rate or like or share, the better we do and the more people hear about our little show. And now, off and out into the cold with you. I have important ship's business which calls my attention.